I think this weekend proves how talented our conference is and how hard it is to win. Obviously Ohio gave us a lot of things that we had to deal with and things we obviously need to work on. But a lot of credit to the girls to bounce back and get a tough, gritty win against a good Kent State team on Sunday. But it just proves that you have to be ready to play every single team. I won't be surprised if the teams that didn't make the top 8 last year are in the top 8 this year. It's just that competitive and that close.
What was the most important thing you saw on Friday that you had to change for Sunday?
It has to be 90 minutes because at the end of the day, when you go back and you watch tape, we actually played pretty well as far as the style that we're trying to do. But what we struggled is maybe a 50-50 ball here or a detail on a set piece or just that little bit of urgency because Ohio had it and they had it for 90 minutes, and I think that's why they came out on top.
Kristen, talk about your role as a leader on this team. You guys lost a lot of players from last year that were kind of like the leaders, and now you're taking over that role. Talk about your role.
I guess my biggest role in the midfield, is just winning those 50-50 balls or getting into one tackle because that can just really change the momentum of the game.
How has your transition from defender to the midfield been this year?
It's been pretty good. I've played a different position basically every year since I've been here. And it was just really getting used to, movement off the ball more than anything. Getting into the space for providing width or an extra passing angle for, our center backs or outside backs and just being able to help out in that role.
Coach, talk about Kristen's game on Sunday. You guys held one of the better players in the conference to, long range shots. She wasn't really dangerous as she could have been. Talk about her play and the defense as a whole.
Collectively, I thought it was great. Jenna Hallstrom's probably one of the best attacking players in the conference, and I think her stats prove that as well. Our biggest thing is don't let her get in behind. And I thought we did a great job keeping her in front. And every time she had the ball, there was multiple players always in that area. And a lot of responsibility falls on Kristen when the ball does get past her to drop down and help out those back line, and she does a phenomenal job doing it.
Chrisma was really dangerous on Sunday. Talk about her play and how she's kind of evolving into the offense.
Yeah, no, it was, it wasn't even close for us as a coaching staff for player of the match. Just everything she did, the energy she brought, it was a good spark that we needed. Chris was brought in; she's a goal scorer, that forward, and those are going to come, and we know it'll come. What she brought on Sunday is encouraging because I think it's just going to help create goal scoring chances for her.
Chrisma, how do you feel the offense is coming along as the season's moving on? You're into conference play now.
Mm-hmm. As the season moved on, I think you can really tell that we're evolving as a group. Every game we're still continuing to work on holding the ball and giving our team the opportunity to get up with us. So I think that as we move on the rest of the conference games, we just have to continue to do that.
Coach just said Sunday was probably your best game. Talk about, was it a little extra spark coming off the bench on Sunday? Did that kind of give you a little extra push?
Yeah, it definitely did. Just kind of having a chance to sit back and watch for a few minutes also just kind of opened my eyes up to a lot of different things that I can do. So I think I just wanted to go in and bring as much energy as I could.
What did you do differently on Sunday that kind of made you so dangerous? You were all over the place. It looked like it was your best game of the season.
I think my biggest difference was just keeping the ball and not being so frantic on it and just giving myself that extra time to know whether the defender was on me so that I could turn and dribble or if I needed to pass it back and lay it off.
The offense looked a lot more dangerous on Sunday than it has all year pretty much. How do you guys continue to keep that going forward? Sean?
Again, we have talented players in the attacking part of the field, and I think it's just a matter of them still continuing to work together, build that trust. It's going to come, and we have to believe it's going to come because we're getting opportunities. If we weren't getting opportunities, it might be a different conversation, but we are creating chances, and sooner or later our quality is really going to show.
You're starting to have a couple lineup changes here and there. Is that kind of to create a spark, or is that more you're just trying to find the right fit still?
This is when you look at the group, I think it's deeper than last year. There's quality players that haven't necessarily got a lot of starts that deserve to start. And we're also dealing with a few banged up players. There's some illnesses going around. But there's trust in those players that there's no drop off. And a couple players maybe earn the right to get a start in there. Nobody lost a spot. I think it's more so the fact that we have a little more depth and, giving someone, take Becca, for example, let's see what she can do at the start of a game in that opportunity.
Kristen, Breach and Gary's really been kind of growing up. Have you kind of taken a leadership role with her and kind of helping her? Because you kind of played the same, you were a defender last year. Are you kind of taking her under your wing?
I think all of us, I'm not a part of the back line, but I think me and the whole back line in general have all been helping her out a lot. Because the transition into college soccer is, a really big change from a lot of high school players, but she's transitioned really, really well. She's always super aggressive, and she's just learning the role as an outside back, because that's not really what her original position was coming in.
The defense as a whole has been getting stronger all season. You can kind of see the development. What have you guys been improving on as a group to kind of, as you head into conference season, to start playing a little bit better?
I think the biggest thing is just the communication of it and staying compact and moving together when the ball is shifting, because the biggest thing is not letting players get in behind and keeping those gaps closed so that they can't find that pass through.
The midfield seems to have a lot more depth than it did last year. Talk about that depth and how you feel as a group you're improving.
Yeah, it's great having the extra depth. Because playing attacking mid, that's a very exhausting role. So having all those extra players coming in off the bench with fresh legs, it just always sends that spark into the game and changes the momentum no matter who's coming in, just so they have the extra energy.
So after a tough loss on Friday, what did you kind of have to say to the team? I mean, most girls haven't lost the conference game. You've been here for a couple of years. You know what that felt like. What did you say to the team to kind of come back on Sunday and pick up a huge win?
The biggest thing was just having the confidence. We had a lot of chances on Friday, and we just didn't finish them. And I think the biggest change was just that we had to have the confidence on the ball and knowing that we're the better team going into every game.
Chrisma, how big was Sunday's win? It was at home for you, your first conference win. How big was that to win in front of the friends and family?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, especially being in front of my family and friends and all of the fans that came for us to support us. It was really good, so we just want to keep that momentum going.
It looked like as a group, the forwards were a little bit more comfortable. It looks like you're getting comfortable with Selena a little bit up front. Mm-hmm. Talk about how important that is moving forward.
It's definitely really important. As the season goes on, you want that cohesiveness and to be able to work off of each other, because that's what really surprises the opposing team.
Coach, this might be one of the most important weekends of the season. What do you guys have to do to pick up 2 wins coming home?
We keep stressing the same topics, the same principles week in, week out, because we know the talent and the quality of players that we have in this group. And if we show up and we give it mentally, physically on both sides of the ball, we know we're arguably the best team in the conference. But we also have a target on our back. We know people are gunning for us, and there's quality top to bottom in this league. There's a very small, fine line between us going up against Eastern Michigan and Bowling Green this weekend, or whether it's Western later on, and Ball State, teams of those calibers. It's such a small gap. A lot of times the team that gives the most effort is going to be the team that comes out on top. If we give that effort or exceed that effort, I like our chances of what these girls can do on the field.
Kristen, what has kind of been the main focus this week in practice leading up to these 2 important games?
Definitely set pieces have been a big role, because like you said, in this conference, every game is going to be close, and most games are won, on set pieces, because you're not going to get tons of chances every game, so you just need to finish one.
Coach, how important is Laura's play going forward? Goalkeeper's maybe the most important position on the field. It seemed like in the second half on Sunday, she kind of picked it up and she took your message from halftime and kind of turned it into a good half. Talk about how important she is.
Yeah, you need a lot of command from that position, whether it's coming out and deal with a cross, punching away a ball in traffic, or just verbally talking to your team in front of you. She has the best picture. She can see everything, but it can relieve pressure, and I think it gives the team a lift. Especially maybe we've been defending for a bit, or it's back-to-back corners, and when she comes out and deals with one of those crosses in traffic and holds on to it, now we can attack from that. It's a massive lift, and you can see the momentum shift in games. So we need that from her day in and day out, because you need your keeper to come up with 1 or 2 big saves a game, but more so than that, game management. She's got such a presence to her. She can't go hiding on us.
Good.
Thanks.
All set. Thank you, guys.